And we give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, the Bakudash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the mighty Akim, Wa'akim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this kind of captivity. This is Brother Kowa coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson, I want to go into a lesson that I personally just learned, or I guess further explored in, where I want to get this. In Proverbs chapter 16, verse 32, he that is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he that ruleth the spirit than he that taketh a city. Alright? So basically, what happens here is that when you're able to control your anger, control your emotions and stuff like that, that's when you're better than someone that just has raw power and then just abuses themselves or the people around them, all right? Which is a common thing where you see so many people that just end up hating certain people, where it's like, okay, well, this person is strong, this person is good and, or not good, but this person is strong and capable, but all they do is they just beat people up. They just let their anger take control and whatnot, and no one wants to be around someone like that. All right, that's one of the main things, the key things about that. Okay, where on top of that, if we live in a society where people would just kill or hurt anyone that just angered them for saying the stuff that they did, which I will admit also at the same time that there are people that willingly go out of their way to antagonize and provoke people, which that is not acceptable. That's not acceptable at all. All right, but at the same time, for someone to be the victims of any type of provoking, or maybe not even just provoking, all right, because even then it leads to the time and the opportunity of, I just want to abuse my power. I just get angry at even the slightest thing. If someone isn't doing something at the right time, on the right moment and whatnot, then that's when, okay, well, I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that, or I'm gonna hurt someone because I didn't get my chicken at the right time. All right, going crazy, abusing their power. All right, no one wants to be around someone like that, and it's also people like that the Lord is going to destroy. All right, simply because they have this false sense of power, and they forget who is above, who is higher. All right, an example of this, because there's always going to be someone, for us, there's always someone better than us. Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 2, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord Yahawah, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a power, I sit in the seat of Yahawah, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and not Yahawah, though thou set thine heart as the heart of Yahawah. All right, so basically, the thing about this is, how people, they have this false sense of security, this false sense of, oh, I'm the best, or no one can stand up to me, no one can touch me, I'm better than everyone, I can do whatever I want because I'm so strong. All right, this person in this example right here, he says, oh, I'm a king, I have all this power, I have all this wealth, I have all this strength. Okay, I can literally do whatever I want. I am the Most High God. That's basically what he's saying in here. Or as a matter of fact, that's literally what he said. That's not basically, that's literally what he said. All right. So as a result of that, let's continue on. Verse 3, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches and hast gotten gold and silver unto thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of Yahweh, behold, therefore I will bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. All right. So basically, the Lord is going to destroy these people, this person more specifically, okay, for being so arrogant, for thinking that he is on the level of YAHAWASHI. And the thing about that is that if he was the Lord, people wouldn't be able to, or man wouldn't be able to contest him, challenge him, or even destroy him. All right, that's the thing. That's the arrogance of this person, of this example, the Prince of Tyrus, going out here and stating with full confidence, "Oh, I'm the Lord, I'm the Most High God," and whatnot. All right. So of course, the Lord had to go out and humble him. Rather than doing divine intervention to destroy him himself. All right, because the Lord has done that. In one example is Joshua 10 and 11. All right. Instead, the Lord sent man to go and destroy them. All right. So that's an example of basically being humbled as a result of your arrogance. All right. Now to continue on, or slightly to move back into what I was initially stating with the whole controlling your anger. All right. The thing about controlling your anger is that this is something that YAHAWASHI have been doing, especially YAHAWASHI. All right. Well, Slakia, I'm not trying to say that this is a competition, but basically, yes, the Lord Yahweh and the Lord YAHAWASHI, all right, they've both been controlling their angers greatly. All right. I'll show you one example. Matthew chapter 26, verse 53, thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father? Slakia. Matthew 26, verse 53, thinkest thou that I cannot now pray to my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels. All right. So Yahawadah was basically saying that, hey, I understand your anger. All right. This was when Yahawadah was betrayed by Judas, or the betrayal had been put into play, where Judas had told the Roman Empire, or whatever the frick they were. All right. Oh, this is where Yahawadah is at. You guys can come take him now. And then Yahawadah was like, okay, here. Like, I know you guys can come and do whatever you want. But I'm not going to do anything because I can literally pray to my Father and have him send 12 legions of angels to murk all you guys, to stop you guys from touching me. But he didn't. All right, he didn't. All right, let me get this. In the same chapter, Matthew chapter 26, verse 39, and he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, "O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but as thou wilt." All right. So basically, Yahawadah was he didn't want to be crucified, but he still accepted it simply because he knew that that's what his Father, his heavenly Father Yahweh, had set in place. All right. As a result of that, as a result of that, all right, he showed great restraint, all right, in just accepting that was going to happen to him. He was going to be put to death. He was going to die a painful death, all right? Because crucifixion is not very. I actually heard a clip from a documentary that was talking about it. They said that the pain from having a nail hold you up, all right, is so excruciating. On top of the fact that you are literally bleeding out, all right, it was very terrible. It was very painful, all right. Like that's basically what they were saying. Like the pain is very excruciating, especially when it was on one, like those central points of your hands and your feet and whatnot. All right. So yeah, like all that combined, it wasn't gonna be no easy thing. And Yahawashi wasn't like some superhuman. Fucking what, Man of Steel or some shit where he could just ignore the spears, ignore the nails and all that stuff, or even ignore the pain. He literally accepted that as the man that he came in as. He walked as a man and accepted all that pain and tolerated all that pain. All right, for us, that goes to show his love for his people, the Israelites. All right. So yeah, again, it wasn't no cakewalk or a picnic. All right, it was very painful, or maybe it was a picnic. I heard that the origins of the word picnic is actually something with pick and then the N word and whatnot. But anyway, continuing on. Let me actually get this. First Peter chapter 2 verse 21. For even hereunto were ye called, because Hamashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. Slakia. Let me start over. First Peter chapter 2 verse 21. For hereunto were ye called, because Hamashiach also suffered for us, leaving us an example that ye should follow his steps. All right, so basically, the thing about that is that Yahawashi, he had shown us an example of how we should be. Okay, he basically, all these stories, all these instances that of what he did or what he demonstrated, those are what he basically showed is possible for us. Okay, he came as a man, as a human, to basically show, like, if you truly work towards it, all right, you can actually genuinely be perfect. Now, there's a lot that goes into this, primarily, not wanting to have to be wronged by people, and as a result of that, of course, naturally, you don't want to be wronged by people, but sometimes, you just have to choose your battles, basically, where there's gonna be certain times when saying nothing is the best course of action. Even if you're in the right, even if someone does you wrong, let me get a precept to that. Romans chapter 12 verse 19, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. So over here is an example of, when we are wrong, we just have to wait, be patient, let YAHAWASHI let YAHAWASHI handle all these issues for us, where we don't need to go out of our way to fight. We don't need to go out of our way to avenge ourselves when someone does wrong to us. All right. Sometimes just taking a step back and letting the stuff play out, especially with how this society works, where this society is so wicked and it's so unfair. Oftentimes, literally, it doesn't, and it does not matter who you are, but oftentimes when someone start conflict with you, you as the victim, all right, for attempting to defend yourself, will be seen as the person in the wrong, because that's how messed up this society is, where they always demonize the person for fighting back. Okay, and that's a big issue in I want to say the school system. The school system, all right. Thankfully, I didn't have to go through that, but in the school system, all right, you have students that end up taking their own lives, all right, simply because whenever they try to defend themselves or even report it to a teacher and whatnot, like nothing ever happens and things just continue to go back to that exact same thing, all right, where you want justice, all right, for people wronging you and doing evil by you, but yet you can't get that justice. You have no Slaki, what's the word? You don't have any actual power or whatever to make changes or to do anything. And even then, the people in power, they continue to perpetuate that. Okay, well, we're going to keep on doing the same thing, the same people, because we have favoritism. We like this person, we like this student over the other one, or we don't care about doing stuff the right way. We're just going to keep on letting these people get away with stuff like that. All right, which again, it leads to this mental illness thing, where so many people in this society, they suffer from a plethora of mental illnesses, okay, caused by many different avenues of trouble that they experience in their lives. All right, and the thing about that is, let's get this in Sirach chapter 10, verse 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, and what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right, so simply because the ruler is wicked, because the ruler gets away with doing stuff. All right, look at the whole take the example for the Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein stuff. All right, he's been getting away with dismissing it after promising to reveal it. He said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get this for you guys. We're gonna let you guys know all this stuff. We're gonna do this, that, and the third, whatever." But yet, it never comes out. All right, they keep on delaying it, stalling, making some sort of excuses. All right, when clearly he's hiding something. All right, and on top of that, there's been so many different instances where, even in America with DJT, what he does is he literally was arrested or whatever the frick that happened. I don't know the details, but there was some details where he was convicted of some sort of felony charges and whatnot, and then they just dismissed it. They allowed him to go and run for president. So you can be a president in America even though you're convicted for several felonies and whatnot. All right, that even then there's still certain laws that you're allowed that prevent you from doing certain things as a felony. But if you do a misdemeanor, you're still able to do certain things. You still have certain privileges. All right. and they just completely just ignored that, and they say, oh yeah, let's let this this felon, you know, run for president. All right, we definitely want a president to represent us. That's basically how they get down. But of course, you know, whenever stuff happens, all right, there's always this double standard or this special treatment of rules for thee but not for me. All right, there are people that get life in prison for lesser crimes, but then whenever these elites get caught for doing some certain stuff, oh, just a slap on the wrist, house arrest, whatever, all right, they can still enjoy whatever bullshit that they have, but you know, let a regular person get convicted. Oh, 50 years in jail, all right, and that's how things are, okay. But and of course, on top of that, the people, be it after seeing how their leaders act, or better yet, maybe it's just something that's innately in them to follow after their own higher ups and whatnot. They take after them. They copy their tendencies. All right. They copy their mannerisms. All right, which lead into people basically doing the exact same thing. All right, where it's like, okay, so we want to let the perpetrators, the actual criminals, the actual bad people get away with stuff, let them aggress, let them initiate conflict, and then when it's time to, you know, put judgment on or make people pay for their actions, then okay, well now, it's like, okay, now let's just give the person that fought back things. Let's say, oh, this person, you shouldn't have fought back, you should have done this, all right? And I've seen that so many times, all right? People always getting on the person that is the victim rather than, even in domestic violence cases, the man that gets hit, that gets beat by his wife, oh, he's in the wrong. The woman that gets beat by his wife, beat by her husband, Slakia, sometimes they don't even do something, okay? Which it's always so convenient, Slakia, it's always so convenient that, you know, the actual victims, all right, and which it sounds weird, I'm not gonna lie, it sounds very weird, but sometimes when the actual women that get beat by their husbands, when they're actually getting beat by their husbands, and it's like a genuine like domestic violence case, when they contact the police, they actually don't do anything. But when the woman lies, all right, when the woman's lying and then she hits herself and whatnot, if the guy doesn't have video evidence, then sometimes he just gets jail time or whatever stuff happens to him. All right, and Slucky, that's how crazy it is. I know it doesn't make sense as I explain it, but it's just like, wait, if a woman calls the cops on her husband and says that he's beating her, then of course they're gonna go and arrest the guy. No, that's surprisingly not how it always works. All right, and again, like, maybe this is just anecdotal. Slucky, it kind of it does kind of just seem like it's anecdotal, but again, like from my history, from what I've seen, all right, I've seen times when a woman that genuinely gets, you know, beat, all right, she literally calls the cops, and then the cops, they don't do anything. All right, I've seen that happen before when, you know, a woman reported that her husband was beating her. The cops came, the cops got involved and whatnot, and then nothing happened. Literally nothing happened. All right. She was screaming all this, how X, Y, and Z happened, and then okay, well, like he just got away with it. But then again, as I said before, if the man is not actually beating her, the woman is crying and lying, and then the dude gets arrested. I just don't understand. Like, Esau can never do the stuff the right way. All right? It's like they're always making the wrong judgment calls. They're always making the wrong call for everything. All right? they can never do good. All right, bear with me one moment. All right, so yeah, basically, I don't want to put it in here. Fuck it. I'll put it in here. Anyway, basically, the fact of the matter is, the main issue is how, these devils, they always push some sort of wickedness. They always forward injustice, okay? People want to say, oh, we need to take the justice system. Oh, the justice system failed us, but it works, so we have to keep the justice system. Well, how many times is it going to fail? How many times is it going to fail until you drop it completely, all right? There's literally a statistic, I forgot what the statistic said, but there's so many people that are arrested on fallacious charges, all right? Meaning that a lot of people that are arrested and are in jail right now, all right, are in prison for stuff that they did not do, all right? And again, like, this is the type of stuff that angers me. It pisses me off. It makes me, like, this is not how you want to continue to live your life, all right? Where you don't want to live in a life that's filled with wickedness, all right? You don't want to live in a life that's always, well, you can literally be arrested for something you didn't do. Someone else, you could be at the wrong place at the wrong time, and then, okay, well, that's it. All right. Oh well. All right. That's basically how things is. So even then, we still have to have that self-control and be like, okay, you know what? I know things aren't good. I know stuff is hard, but I'm gonna try my best to endure it. Okay. That's basically what Yahawadah says. So I'll end it off on that. Matthew chapter 10, verse 22, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. So that's basically it. It's gonna be hard, it's gonna be tough, and Yahawadah, he showed us the example. All right, he showed us the example of how in our fleshly bodies we are able to contain our anger. So don't get angry. Don't just be mad and exert your wrath. Sometimes just take a step back and accept things as they are, regardless if they're unfair or not. So with that, I pray this was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah. Ba'ashem, Yahawashi, Ba'ashem, the Prophet Dash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone, Abad and Shalom.